day 2 or is it day 3? Day 3.
I saw a sign over here and it said, honey. So I had to stop, of course. Ow, oh.
Dave.
What? I got ants. Must have stepped on a fire ant nest. Because I don't, honey, we got a problem.
What happened?
Okay, so I just don't know what to do. Do I make it Apple Pay or am I adding a new payment method?
You can use your Apple Pay.
Do I have Apple Pay?
I don't know, do you? Hold on, let me help. Let me help the poor damsel in distress. Oh boy, nothing better than breakfast at the Hampton Inn. Actually, there is. If the waffle maker hadn't broken, then it would be better. But we got some real powdered eggs here. Amazing. Kielbasa. Didn't think I'd have to come to Florida to get kielbasa. And what'd you get? Oh, muffins.
And for the healthy choice,
Shrink wrapped apples. Welcome to day 3 of our trip from Connecticut all the way down to Marco Island. Today, we're going to stop off and see Katie in Tampa. She's actually working a wedding at the University of Tampa, her alma mater, which should be pretty cool to see. And then we're going to continue on all the way down to Marco Island. I thought we were going to get there last night. It didn't happen. So listen, we've been using this Porsche Macan, driving it. The Macan 4 EV, the whole trip. It's been wonderful. The massaging seats are great. I know we keep saying that, but it's just a super comfortable ride. So I think that, we've gotten about 1,000 miles so far. We've got another 385 or so to go. So stick with us on episode number 3 of our trip from Connecticut to Marco Island, Florida. We are at a 26% state of charge. We're going to go over to Tampa to see Katie, I believe, right?
We'll see if she's available.
If she's available. If she can fit us into her calendar. Mm-hmm. And there is a 180 kilowatt charging station here in McClenny. And, the route planner in Porsche was sending us to an FPL. It didn't have good data. They were only 120 kilowatts, which is fine. Just because, see, from here in North Florida off I-10 to get down over to Tampa, we're going to be traveling like on some back roads, and
we don't want to get stuck.
It's a bit of podunk. There's not a lot of infrastructure.
No, I know. So I think we're smart to charge up here.
Yeah,
and we can make it down to Tampa.
So the route planner was telling us to go to one place. We overrode it, went on PlugShare, found a 180 kilowatt here in McClenny. And from PlugShare, it allowed us to send the destination to Waze, which was nice. So we're learning all these different ways to work with, with the car. And I'm not worried about sending the information to the app in the car because the battery temperature is already at 85 degrees. So it's not as if we need to precondition or anything. So we are going, actually really
just
close
about
by.
A mile away.
Yeah, a mile away. 2.3 miles, 7 minutes we'll be there.
Okay. And
let's check that out. Goodbye Hampton Inn and Suites.
It was very nice. We were comfortable.
Those are some delicious powdered eggs.
You had your free breakfast. He
man.
love his free breakfast.
And what's great over here is you got a V3.5 and
now turn right.
And we can't use
right.
Well, there was a Bolt charging right over here. So you see right in front of us is the V3.5s. So these are V-Forces dispensers. They allow for the adapter. These, how
the adapter?
They allow for the adapter. And what's right behind it is the hotel we stayed in this morning, the Hampton.
Unbelievably convenient.
Really great. So they didn't have charging.
If you had the adapter.
Right, exactly. So they didn't have charging at the Hampton Inn. The lady at the front desk said we didn't need to put it in because Tesla put over here.
And these are beautiful.
These are the brand new V4 dispensers with the long cables. They have garbage pail. They have Wi-Fi. They have lighting, really nice lighting.
Also disabled van accessibility over there.
So this is a great station, and 8-step. But VW, Porsche, Audi, you can't charge here yet. Can't park here because they don't support. We don't have the adapter. But
We saw a Bolt charging over here in the end yesterday.
And by the way, Bailey's saying good morning to everybody.
Oh yeah, there she
Right?
is. Yeah.
Bailey's happy to be back on the road again.
So, anyway, just to reiterate, where we're going is actually a CCS station
Turn left.
that
Turn right.
that is going to have
Turn right.
this thing key. I gotta
I know,
figure out how to
muted
mute it. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to a place where we're going to get 180 kilowatts. This right here, had we had the adapter, we would have only charged at 135. You see, so from a speed-wise standpoint, where we're going is faster.
Well, no, because it would have been charging as we slept.
Well,
We
that's
would have been in Tampa already.
You bring up a good point there.
I always do.
Okay.
I
So
think.
you would have just plugged in
Would have
and
plugged
gone to
in.
sleep and then moved your car in the morning?
No. But you were up all night editing, so you would have gotten up,
Okay. There you
unplugged the car, moved it to be kind and do the right thing.
That's
as
true.
I would have slept through the night.
That's true.
Just to be clear. Mm-hmm. I know that was like a gotcha kind of question.
No,
but
it wasn't. I just want to make sure that
No, that
I
wouldn't be the right etiquette.
Right, exactly.
Of
The
course.
thing to do. There's some. Is that charging over there? There's charging at a Burger King right over there.
Let's go see what it is. Oh, we're already committed to the wrong lane.
No, we're not committed. We can move it around.
Okay.
I do believe those are 120s.
Oh, well, then forget
I
it.
think they're FPLs. No, not forget it. I mean, you want to forget it?
Yeah, I want to forget it.
All right, we'll go to the
It's
we'll
time
go to the
like,
180s.
It is already 9 a.m. We thought
That's
we
okay.
would
It's all right.
be rolling along earlier.
It's,
But
we're
we were tired.
We're in Florida, so that means we're already.
Listen, I'm good. I have all summer, but I know you wanted to get down to the beach.
Well,
I guess not today.
no, maybe not today.
Tomorrow morning.
Not today.
Not today.
Next stop, some charger up here. We're gonna have to see. I think it's an FPL as well. That's the Florida Power and Light, and we've been known to go to those, and they've been okay. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Let's go. Okay, so here we are at McClenny, Florida, and there is a Starbucks here, an H2 Health, and a T-Mobile, and a Phantom Fireworks store. So Kathy's going to try and figure this out all on her own.
Well, I
Proud
don't
of her.
know. It wants me to sign in.
Okay.
I don't have an app.
So create an app. You got to sign in. We'll do that. We'll come right back. So while Kathy's in the back signing up for the FPL account, let's go ahead and take a look at the trip so far. We've gone 1,020 miles. Average consumption, you can see 33.3 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. I think the right way to look at that is 3.33 miles per kilowatt hour. That's the lingo I use. And yeah, so let's go check on Kathy. And we've got X amount of miles left to go. Let me just see what that says our trip looks like. Go to Marco Island. So we're 358 miles to Marco, and it's telling us to charge here at this FPL Evolution, which is great. And then we're also going to be charging at this, I believe that's a brand new EA station. So we're going to check that out as well. And what we also did was we set the, I believe we set the charging setting here. Oh, see, I want to change this
Should I
to
do
20%. I don't want to bury myself down in Marco because we don't have any charging there. So we'll just do that. And let's see what that does. Oh, see, it added a charging stop. It's really good how it does that. Authorized, please connect your vehicle. All right, so now this is going to be a two-hander. See, the thing is, this is Chatamo on this side and CCS on that side. So it would have been easier to just use this unit over here, 1202, and just take it over. But here she comes. This is her workout for the day. There we go. Not bad, not bad.
This one isn't twisty like yesterday's.
Okay,
This is fine.
there you go. She's in. Good job. Now let's see. Connecting with the vehicle.
Communicating.
Oh,
with
communicating
the
with the vehicle. All right. And I believe, what kind of station is this? This is a FPL Evolution. These are relatively new that I haven't seen, these particular stations. I don't see, oh, here we go. These are Power Electronics.
Okay, I'm in.
You're in?
Yes.
All right, let's see what you pull. Remember, your battery was at 85 degrees, which was good, which is right where you wanted it.
Yeah,
So,
it's ramping
what
up.
does it say you're doing? Oh, you're getting 132 right now. Okay. Listen, we'll take whatever we can get. Now, as soon as the navigation system in Porsche tells us we can leave, we're going to leave.
Yeah.
We're going to do what it says,
Okay.
and our next stop will be Tampa from there. You can see we're pulling 134 kilowatts. That's about all she's going to pull. You'll see the temperature is right where it needs to be, 88 degrees. It's smack in the middle of the pack in terms of the range, and we're at a 28%. And it wants to take us up to 70%. So that's where we're going to go. And once we're there, Porsche charging planner is active, and it tells us that the target charge was set automatically. And even though it's 9:19 right now, it's telling us we'll be able to leave at 9:37. So that's pretty good. Listen, you know, she's walking Bailey over there, out behind the Starbucks, and we know we've got 18 minutes before we need to leave. So all good. Even though PlugShare says these are 180s, we're only pulling 137, but we've pulled 134 from the start, or 135, and now we're pulling 137. So it's ironically, it's probably about the same speeds had we had the adapter in the over at Tesla, because this, even though these are rated at 180 kilowatts, we're only pulling 135, which is about what we would get at a V3 with the adapter. So it's all good. It's about the same. It's really not that big of a deal on a long trip like this. But yeah, so we're going to be here for another 12 minutes. Okay, so with Porsche, they've done a really good thing with their app, which Kathy and I have been realizing and playing around with and learning this trip. We want to share this with you because it's a little different than a lot of Porsche is delivering a one-to-many service, knowing that there's multiple charge point operators out there. They're trying to make it as seamless as possible. Not to say they're the only manufacturer of electric vehicles that are doing this, but it's a really good service. So
Well, the point is I own a Porsche now. I have to understand the app and where I can charge.
right. So the most seamless way to charge this car is if you find an Electrify America station, you can just pull up to it and you can just plug in and
I have it free for a year.
and you have it. Well, that's on the money side of it.
Yeah.
But you just plug in and your car will charge. Now let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes. When you pull up to an EA station and you plug in, right, the car is telling through the cable, it's telling the unit, hey, it's Kathy, here's my VIN number. And then EA is sending a signal to Porsche, and they're saying, oh, okay, we recognize that VIN number. We know Kathy is an authorized user. We know that she has free charging for a year. Okay, EA, give her juice. All right. And now all of a sudden you get juice and you go on your way. All right, which is great. Porsche also allows you, rather than to plug in to, and that process of plugging in and sending the data out and over, that is what's called the handshake. All right.
Yeah, and that has worked seamlessly.
And it's worked seamlessly.
Terrific.
And it takes a little bit of time. It could take as much as 30 or 45 seconds to do that. There's another way to authorize an Electrify America station, which is you can go on to the Porsche app, and when you arrive at EA, you can pull up the app, which shows you a map, and it shows you, oh, there's an EA station there. And you can swipe on the app to authorize the unit. So what's happening there is, instead of the car telling EA to tell Porsche that you're ready to get juice, you're going on the Porsche app and you're telling Porsche, hey, I want to get juice from station number 4. And so Porsche's saying, oh, okay, I know you because of the app. I know your VIN. okay, EA, let her, when she plugs in, let her get juice. Okay, so those are two very different ways to do it. But what's happening behind the scenes is a lot of complicated data transfers and credit card authorizations, or do you have free charging? It's all that's going on. And it's not just so simple as just plugging into a wall outlet at home, right? There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Now, we understand that's EA. Now to get it even a little bit more complicated, we are sitting here at FPL right now, and there are multitudes of charge point operators out there. There's ChargePoint. There's the Mercedes one we charged at Buc-ee's, right? General Motors has a bunch of charge point operators. They're setting up as a charge point operator. Iona is another one that's a big one. There's EVgo, right? And there's all these charge point operators. It's like Shell and Mobil and all these different gas stations. And what Porsche is saying is we want to make the experience for our customers as seamless as possible. So all they need to do is go onto the app. We know that we've got EA really good as far as plug and charge, right? But they're not going after trying to do plug and charge with EVgo and plug and charge with all these. They may do that with a couple, but to my knowledge, plug and charge right now only works with EA. So what they're doing is they're saying, all right, Kathy, go to our app, go to the Porsche app, and we're going to have, let's say, a list of 6 or 7 charge point operators that you can go to and say, I want to charge here. And then Porsche will, from the app, will send a message to Porsche in Germany, and they will tell that charge point operator, Kathy is now at your location in, Dublin, Ohio, or whatever, and she's at unit number 7, let her charge. Okay, and they're doing that for about 6 or 7 charge point operators. So instead of you having to download the EVgo app and the ChargePoint app and the Mercedes app,
right? They've condensed it all into the Porsche app.
So they're making it one to many. Okay,
right. Except for this one here.
So we just pulled into FPL, Florida Power and Light, and typically, a lot of the charge point operators will give you a choice as to how to get energy. If you don't have plug and charge capability, there's usually a card reader, so you can just pay with your credit card, right? Or you'd have to go on to their website, download their app, sign up.
Which is what I just had to do.
Right, so that's what Kathy just did right there. So look, I know it sounds like it's overwhelming, and it can be.
It's a little convoluted, I'm not going to lie. It's a little convoluted, but I hope that now that I've put the time in, downloaded the app,
right,
figured out how to pay, do this.
So,
I'm in Florida a lot, so I should have this app anyway.
So, by the way, the thing that's happening with Porsche and VW, Audi, and Tesla, it's not about the adapter. I want to get the adapter. It's about Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi making sure all the back-end communication works. So that when you go on to the Porsche app, right, or what's going to happen with Tesla is you're going to have to go on to the Tesla app and say charge another car, not a Tesla, right? And so Tesla will then have to send a signal to Porsche, VW, Audi and say, hey, this person's trying to charge here. Is that authorized or not? So a lot of people say, oh, you can just go and buy the adapter today, right? But you can't. You can buy it, but it's not going to work because all the back end stuff isn't going to work, right? So that's what's going on. And I think, to be honest, what's happening with Porsche right now is their concern, most likely, is that they are going to be giving their customers, until true V4 stations come out, which are high amperage stations. This is a high voltage car. When you plug into a V3, and once you get the adapter, you're only going to pull 135 kilowatts.
Right.
Let's translate that. You go to EA, you're getting 270.
Sure.
So it's going to take you twice as long, if everything was even,
sure,
twice as long to charge. And I think that's part of the reason why Porsche has been reluctant to roll it out. But what I would say to Porsche is,
let's go.
Right, let's go. But realize we as consumers understand that. And if you as a firm want to educate, the Porsche, VW, Audi owners about their high voltage cars not charging as fast, that's great. Go ahead and do that. But we're also going to educate with videos like this.
Okay, but I am the normal case user. there we were last night
Yeah.
by the hotel
That's
at
right.
those beautiful new Tesla chargers. What was charging? A little Bolt.
A Chevy Bolt.
A little Bolt, and my Porsche Macan was not allowed there. There was no way for me to
So
charge. So
meanwhile-
come on, Porsche, let's
So meanwhile,
just
we're
move this
sitting here
along.
today at FPL downloading
Exactly.
another app, and had at that, we would not have done that last
Right, we
night.
would
We've
have
been on our way.
Just been down there already.
The realities. Well, listen, the pioneers
Still
get all
like
the
Wild,
arrows.
Wild West.
I know the pioneers get all the arrows, right? Is the old saying. It's probably politically incorrect, but I don't care. Whatever. It's true. You know, look, we, and I say that collectively, a lot of our viewers are super intelligent and they get all this. But you know what? It's all up to us to help each other. You know, it was like yesterday when we were charging in Pooler, Georgia. And a guy, he just bought a new, you know, an EX40, which is basically the C40 rebadged now as an EX40 Volvo. And he specifically wanted to go to the 350. And he kept trying to back in and get to it. And we were on one of the 350s, and there were 4 or 6 150s. And he goes, oh yeah, the Volvo dealer told me that I should charge at the 350 because it's faster. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. Your car can only take about 150. So your car is asking the charging unit for the juice. It's not like the charging unit is saying, I'm going to give you 350.
No.
Because that would be like, you know, it just doesn't work that way. So he got it. He was like, I totally get it. Should I move? He was like ready to move.
Oh, yeah.
I said, no, that's cool. Look, nobody's here. But I said, if you see a Lucid Air, if you see a Porsche Macan, there are some cars that can take advantage and can charge faster than 150. It's a courtesy thing to say, you know, to not move. But the classic is when we see Bolts plugged into 350s. That's like the extreme example.
Yeah. Of course.
So, all right. Well, hopefully that little vignette was helpful. Okay, target charge is received. Kathy, you want to jump out and unplug just so you know how to do it?
Yes, I really should, actually.
All right, good girl. All right, let's do this. Bailey, what are you doing? Mommy's going to unplug. Let's watch her. Wait, now hold on. You don't want to do that.
Do I have to hit my button
You want to hit this over here
Oh,
where
I
it says
do?
stop charging. You got a lot of voltage going out of there.
Oh, okay.
Now wait,
well,
it's possible that you may be able to hit your little button
okay.
to stop charging. Why don't you try
I'm
that?
going to try that
All right.
first.
Because your car has a little
I'm
button.
just very used to first thing I do is put,
Yeah.
okay, but at home I don't have
Yeah.
to push the button, but here you think I do?
Let's see what happens. Boom,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
there
good.
it is.
And now,
What does it say over there? Did
yeah,
it
you
stop?
can unplug now. There you go.
It's like my morning workout.
All right,
This thing
good.
is heavy.
Belly's flipping out. Oh. Get it in there, girl.
Trying. Wait, I think I'm back. Oh, no, I'm not back.
No,
No, what? No,
Yeah.
no, I
Okay.
can see that. I just can't. Oh, there we go.
I was just,
Score.
as a kid, did you ever play with Legos?
I was very poor at spatial
okay,
relations.
all right,
Okay,
that's-
did you shut my port over
No, I
here?
did not shut your port.
Because I didn't get the one that goes
By the way,
automatic.
your little flap automatically when you pull out goes up, which
Oh,
is
it
nice.
did? Oh, that's nice. Okay, good. And then tuck it in.
All right, we are on our way. Finally, let's go. All right, Kathy, you just discovered something really kind of intricate. This is like a double black diamond ski trail navigation, sort of route planning guidance issue. You found an
It does
issue
feel
with
that way.
Porsche, and I'm so proud of you, okay? Kathy, if you're gonna use the Porsche route planning, which is Google-based maps, okay, really good, or you're going to use Waze to go from here. Forget about charging.
Right.
You're just going to go from here to 100 miles away to some store or some friend. Which route planner which system are you going to use and why?
I'm always going to go to Waze
Okay.
because the maps are clearer, the directions come up sooner, and it talks to me earlier than the Porsche navigation does.
Okay. So, but also the prompts. The prompts that you get within Waze, like saying in 5.1 miles.
Well, so I mean, the directions come up earlier.
The directions.
Yeah, she talks to me.
The directions actually show up on the screen all the time. Now, it could be that we can play around with the Google Maps settings to have better prompts, and we'll do that at some point.
For Porsche.
But what you also like to do is, so you want to use Waze for the navigation, for the prompts and all that. But what is the other thing that you realize you want to do by keeping the navigation active when you're going to a charging station? Why do you want to keep the Google Maps, the Porsche system, up and running?
Well, I want the car to realize it's time to precondition before I get to a charging station.
And there lies the issue.
Yes.
And what is that issue?
Well, Google doesn't know I'm going to this location to charge my car. I mean, Waze doesn't understand that.
Right.
So you have to also...
So therefore, Waze is not telling Porsche to precondition it. So in order to get the battery to precondition, you need to put the destination... Right, okay, gotcha.
In the Porsche app
right.
for navigation.
Right.
But when I'm driving now, we're 2.5 hours away or so, I'd rather be on Google. Waze. I'd rather be on Waze.
You'd rather use Waze. So, but you also need to have the Porsche navigation system active in order to manage the battery so it doesn't overheat.
Right.
Right? So when you try to run both, what happens?
You can only do one or the other.
That's right. And there lies the problem, Porsche. There lies the problem. I know that Porsche, they want us to use Google, and Google Maps is really good.
They're really good, but I don't like that my directions come up too late.
Not only that, but Waze also gives you a social media aspect. It shows you where...
Oh yeah, the hazards are, lanes are closed.
It's really the police that I love. Because Google Maps also has traffic and things like that, and the route planning as far as getting around, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Right? So I don't think Porsche made a bad decision using Google Map-based system, but the problem is the way with which Google is set up to show you the navigation. It's just not as clear. And I know we've been Waze people a long time, but even for your eyes, just like the font sizes.
Everything's bigger. And by the way, I didn't even know this was an issue until last night when you took a little nap.
Yeah.
I took over driving and it's like, where's my next turn? It just...
I know.
You know, it was just coming up like a mile before I had to make a turn. And with Waze, you just see it sort of up in the corner for quite a long time.
You do.
And because I don't have to go charge anywhere in my real life, I just charge at home. You know, we're discovering these little quirks this morning.
Yeah, so I have a minor ask and a major ask, okay? The minor ask is of Porsche. Would it be possible for you to allow us to run two separate navigation systems at the same time for the car?
Because we have two screens.
Now, I realize that perhaps it has to do with getting the data from the internet, but I can run Waze and Spotify. That's two separate streams of data. I don't know enough about this stuff, but that would be the ask number one. Allow us to run Waze, allow us to run Google Maps Porsche.
That'd be great.
And then we'll be smart enough to know to minimize or mute the voice on one or the other. We typically I would minimize the voice on the Porsche app and listen to what Waze is telling us to do, because we like that better. So that's ask number one. Ask number two, is it possible for you, Porsche, to allow us to use Waze for battery preconditioning?
That sounds fancy.
That sounds like a big ask. If you could whip that up over next weekend and get back to us, we'd appreciate that. All kidding aside, it's probably going to be a big challenge.
Unless, I just want to put this out there, unless we are missing something here, and you already can do that.
Well,
but with every button we've pushed, we've not been able to have two separate navigation systems going. So if anybody knows anything out there, please let us know.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. In the meantime, what I think we need to do is we need to kind of play around with the Google Maps settings within Porsche, because really it is a very good system. It's just the way with which, like for example, the little triangle that shows that it's you.
It's so little, I can't see me.
It's so small. So maybe that's just us playing around with the font sizes and all that. But even then, once you do that, you still don't have the data in Waze that is like a police is active. Although what you can do is, if we can get the Google Maps set up so that it's giving you the prompts properly, you can still run Waze in the background, and it will send you the verbal audible. You know, you could still look at the Waze screens, and it will tell you if, let's say, a policeman is up front. You'll hear it, and you can also look at the Waze, but you just can't run both at the same time.
Right.
So I'm proud of you, Kathy. That's really, you're getting into this.
Well, I'm suddenly discovering I have to be very independent this summer with a car that
What do we got
I
here?
don't have to charge out in the wild. We have a hazard. We have a hazard.
Had I not steered around the car,
My car would have been hurt
well,
with a flat tire for sure.
no, it was actually pushing me back, the lane keep assist.
Oh, you felt that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But I'm not in, here, we'll go into InnoDrive right now. I wasn't in InnoDrive. I have a feeling if I was InnoDrive, we would have pegged that thing. There's been a little module on the intricacies of charging the Porsche Macan. And by the way, I'm not sure that this is the same data for the Porsche Taycan, because this is a completely new system in the Macan. It's very different than what's in the Taycan. So for those of you who have Taycans and can run Waze perhaps, and the Porsche Google, or it's not Google system on the Taycan, but maybe the Porsche embedded system, I'm jealous if you can. All right, so here we are heading down to Tampa, and I saw a sign over here and it said honey. So I had to stop, of course. I got my new friend Al over here behind me. He's got a nice 2021 Chevy pickup truck, but he's selling honey. And I got two different kinds of honey. The first is, this is gallberry honey, where the bees, this is kind of a wildflower that grows here in North Florida and Southern Georgia. And then the other kind I got is actually just plain old wildflower. So, hey, listen, this is cool. I'm excited to try these out and do a little bit of a taste test. Well, thank you, Al. I appreciate it. And now we're gonna get back in the car and keep going. Ow! Oh God! Oh!
Dave.
What? I got ants.
At the honey place.
Oh man, this honey better be good.
Take the towel again.
I got fire ants. I think I must have, when I was over by the sign, by the road, I must have stepped on a fire ant nest. Because I don't, ow.
Shake out that towel.
What the hell?
Just buy him some nice honey.
Honey, we got a problem. Pineland Products, Hampton, Florida. And this is a half pound, $5. And so we got two. We're going to do a taste test.
It'll be fun.
All right. So anyway, the only thing I would say is watch out for the fire ants by the roadside.
Wear boots.
That's crazy. All right, Kathy, I just want to go over the advanced driver assistance. So you can basically put this in InnoDrive, right, which is adaptive cruise control, like a magnet behind the car. You can adjust the distance between the car that's in front of you by, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6, I'm not sure. Five different settings. And when you're going down the road, it's not a hands-free system. After a certain amount of time, what will happen is a little yellow light will come on. It's basically telling you to touch the steering wheel. You don't have to torque it because it's capacitive. You can just squeeze it quickly. And it's designed to detect that your hand is on the wheel. And I will tell you that there's been 5 or 6 times on this trip when, just out of the blue, especially around bridges, the car would just dart
Yes.
like aggressively dark.
Yes.
And it did it, as a matter of fact, in the video that we did on Dave and Kathy Unplugged when we took Bailey down to Mr. Frosty's.
Yeah.
And you looked at me like, what'd you do? I said, I didn't do anything. and it went like usual. And the car just darts. So I would caution you who are used to maybe FSD or even Blue Cruise with Ford, keep your hand on the wheel here. But when you have your hand off the wheel, then what it will do is it will give you a warning after a certain amount of time, and
just a very subtle,
little, it's
yellow.
a little yellow, right, with the hands, and then a little bit later, what it will do is it says, please take over steering in the left circle,
Big circle.
and then
But still no audible sound.
nothing audible, so it's giving you a decent amount of time. Then it starts to get angry. Cue the redness. Cue. There you go.
Is.
Okay. So take over steering. And if you don't take over steering, it'll yank the seatbelt and it'll hit the brakes. And so all you have to do is touch the steering wheel and get it. Now, that's a good system. I like that. The other thing that it will do is by the way, if you don't stop it and you get locked out, you can just immediately start using it
So
again.
you're not in like FSD jail.
There's no autopilot jail or FSD jail with this car. So as conservative as Porsche is, our friends over at Tesla seem to police things a lot more strictly, but they also are doing a lot more.
I think you have more freedoms.
You have more freedoms
Yes.
as well. You know, so the other thing is, if we're in the left-hand lane, we shouldn't be. We should be driving in the right, passing in the left. So therefore, what I want to do is I want to put my turn signal on, and you'll notice that I've lost the little green signal circle there. So I don't have any more lane keeping, but I can move over to the right-hand lane, and then as soon as I do, turn the turn signal off, it reconnects.
And it accelerated.
It accelerated because my speed that I had set was faster than the speed that was going.
Yeah.
Right. The thing that I really like, though, is if you're traveling behind someone and you're doing, let's just say, 72 or 75, and let's say you're doing 72, but you have your speed set to 75, and the guy in front of you is slowing you down. You want to go 75, but he's slowing you down. As soon as you put the turn signal on and the system detects that you started to angulate the wheel a little bit to overtake him, the car immediately starts to accelerate. It's very much like what you as a driver would do. They have nailed that. Porsche has nailed that. It's so smooth. Like we'll do it right here. There's a what is that? Nissan Rogue there. I'm going to put. Well, this guy's coming up. This is probably not a good spot to do it, but you get what I'm saying. It'll start to accelerate, and it's really a great system. Here we go. We'll do it right here. Okay. Yeah, it's not the right time. You know what happened? You know what happened there? I put the turn signal on. I'm like, how come it's not changing lanes?
User error.
So it wasn't the right time because the brain, I thought I was back at my Tesla. So wait, this thing doesn't change lanes? What's wrong with this thing? Anyway, interesting. The other thing that just to point out again, there is no one pedal driving in this car. However, when you come to a stop, if you use the brake, if you push the brake pedal pretty far down, it will go into, you'll see it say hold. And then you don't have to keep your foot on the brake. And then as soon as the light changes and turns green, you just hit the accelerator and take off. So I don't know how often you use that, but it is there. You do have to, now here, we're gonna see now it's starting to accelerate.
That's right.
Did you see it?
Nice and easy.
It's perfect. So the hold feature is good. The off-pedal regen is not good, but as soon as you touch the brake, you're using regen all the way down until the last, until you really need friction brakes. I mean, if it's an emergency situation, it's gonna jam on the brakes, friction brakes. But all these little things give the car a character and a feeling. And I think you said it best on the review video we did last week, where you said it feels very conventional.
Yeah, I think so.
So, if you're used to driving a gas-powered car and you drive this, you're not going to feel like, oh, what's that regen feeling? Personally, I want more regen off pedal, but hopefully Porsche will give that to us. All right, Kathy, you've been watching me for the majority of this trip drive. You drove. Thank you very much for driving yesterday. I'd like to. Can you give your impressions of the lane centering, adaptive cruise, the ADAS system on this car compared to others?
Well, let me speak to it as being a passenger.
Yeah.
On a long road trip. I'm finding that the Macan occasionally, but it seems to be, and we're driving in the left lane, it seems to be pushing us over close to the car and the center lane, because a few times as I'm in the passenger seat, I've had to done one of my little, right? Like not aggressively, just bracing because I feel like it wants to hug the car over on the right. Mm-hmm. And just in comparison, when we brought down your Model 3 on our last road trip, that was it the FSD I think you had on, right? It just hugged the middle, and I didn't do that once.
What's that noise?
It's my button and my watch. Noises bother him.
You know I have misophonia.
I know. You
have bite motorcycle school.
And you have squirrel syndrome.
Did you see that? Remember when we did that, the motorcycle school? All right, so you're saying that...
I'm saying this is floating around a lot more than the Tesla system does.
Like right here, it was just going back. I keep looking at the wind to see if it's the Tesla.
It's windy, but it's not windy. It's not really windy.
So my Model 3 tracked straight.
Totally straight. The other thing that the FSD does that I get a lot of comfort of is the graphics are so great. You see that thick blue line, and you just see it going straight down the road. There's something comforting about that for me.
There is another screen here in the center that we could. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, this one here.
Oh wait, but did you just see that? Does it look like it's hugging to the right a little more?
You see that right there? So
From my perspective, it does.
This graphic right there.
Yes, that's a good graphic.
And you see the 3 cars up there.
Okay, but you see now as we're turning this way, it went that way more. It's not coming down the center. That's interesting. So it's not tracking as straight.
It's got little green
lines on either side.
Yeah.
But they're also floating. I mean, the car is floating well within those green lines, which is what I'm feeling. He thought I was yelling at him. He's like, I'm not driving.
It wanders.
Yes.
Okay.
Does.
And then how many times during this trip has the car just darted for no reason?
A few.
A few too many.
Yeah, I think one is too many. It's unsettling.
So you know what FSD or autopilot used to do a lot? And by the way, for those of you that make comments that all I ever do is compare it to Tesla, there is no doubt FSD is the gold standard.
It's superior.
What system is better than that? There are other systems. There's, Super Cruise, there's Blue Cruise, but, like in Rivian, and I've driven them all.
So just now, did you feel that? And I looked at your graphic. We just went over to the right. I didn't get nervous. There was no car next to us, but we floated to the right, and you can see it. There's more space on the left side.
I see it right there.
See that? Yeah.
So it's like getting loose in the corners, like NASCAR.
It's getting loose on the straights.
So, like FSD or autopilot over the years, it used to do phantom braking. which was, and I was loud about that. And we were all,
Oh, yeah.
you would just be driving along, and all of a sudden it would just slam on the brakes. And the problem with that is if you got a tailgater behind you or someone who's distracted,
Well, there's many
they're gonna-
problems.
there's a
with
lot of
that.
problems with that. But at least here we're just sort of going down the road, like you're a little drunk.
We're in the lanes.
We're in the lanes.
We're in the lanes. It's just a little loose.
Would you, if I were driving, would you comment and say, Dave, can you drive the car straight?
Yeah, I would say, could you stop pushing me next to the guy
See,
in the middle
look at how
lane?
close we are there.
But you
and
see,
now
now it's pushing us back.
Yeah. All right, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a refinement. The tolerance is really going. We're almost touching the white lines there.
Yeah, I think it needs to be tweaked. It's staying in the lane. It certainly is.
Yeah.
But it's definitely unsettling as the passenger when you're next to another car or worse, a van or a truck.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like we're just going to bang right into them.
There's a vacuum effect when you're next to an 18-wheeler that pulls, it sucks you in.
What they used to call that? There was something they used to call
Well,
that.
so Hyundai had this feature in HDA2 called Scooch. And what it would do is you could actually this was the concept. You could track, you could say, I want to stay in the left third, middle, or right third. Or you could put it in, and this was, I believe, for HDA2, you could put it in this mode where it was automatically, and if it got too close to the right, let's say, it would scooch over to the left.
Yeah, no, but there was a funny term that people used to use. I forgot. It was like lust mode. Like it was like the cars were trying to kiss each other.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do
That
vaguely.
was a couple years
Yeah.
back.
Why don't you make that term up now? Lust mode. I like that.
I did not make it up. There was something very close to that, though. I remember it.
Yeah, I do remember something
It
about
was like
that.
we were so attracted to the truck next to us, we had to be right up against it.
Right.
Somebody will remember out there. Comment. Let us know.
Maybe it's not an old term. Maybe that is a common term.
Maybe, but we haven't used it in a few years.
Yeah.
I think, since FSD has gotten so good.
And then how do you feel about not having lane changing? Like here, I'm going to put on my turn signal, and now I just ease over. I take the lane, it accelerates out, and now I turn the turn signal off and it picks it up. Is that okay?
I'm totally fine with
Me
that.
too. To be honest, I am as well.
I like to be in control. I like to drive, so I'm totally fine with that.
Oftentimes with FSD, you have 3 different modes. You know how you got chill, which just goes over in the right-hand lane. Standard, which it just kind of stays in the middle. And then you got, what's the other one called? I forget. Hurry, right. Hurry, it just, hurry definitely gets you called names by others.
Definitely gets you where
It
you
gets
want to
up
go.
on the butt of the guy in front of you.
Right.
It'll pass on the right, like
aggressive.
aggressively.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. This doesn't have any of those modes, those selective modes.
Well, I think this drives a lot like you would be driving.
One thing about it, though, the acceleration in this car, like, for example, that Mercedes just moved over and how it's smoothly accelerated. And if I'm coming up on this Explorer, it's not like braking. It's quite refined as far as the implementation of the acceleration or braking, the regen or the acceleration. It's smooth.
Yeah.
It's definitely smooth. Look at that, how it's definitely...
Feels like maybe he had a little glass of wine.
I think he's had 2 shots. I mean, how do you do a breathalyzer on a Porsche Macan? New Model 3 up there.
Yeah.
What's his license plate? Installer from
Your eyes are
Idaho.
so good.
Installer from Idaho. 18-inch wheels. Tesla wheels. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it's good.
I actually think you didn't even notice it. You've just noticed me sometimes grabbing over here on the door. I think
I do notice every move that you make, and I feel as though that's like before we started this segment, I said to you, you realize I'm not driving.
I know.
Because I don't want you to think that I was the one that was, drunk.
It's the car.
Yeah, it's the car. So Porsche,
A little refinement.
just whip out the C++ code and making a few changes this weekend. Okay, so here we are in Tampa, Florida at the outlets, and we don't have any good things to talk about here. This is an Electrify America, 6 stations, all 350s, and 4 of them are just toast. They are down. So there's a little bit of a line here, and everybody's being super nice. I got it all orchestrated. These people are up next, but there's only 2 that are up. So we're currently at a 16% state of charge right now. And I think we're going to look for alternative stations. We're not going to sit here. EA, seriously, we've had a good experience this whole trip, but 2 out of 6 are up. That's not good. All right, so goodbye Tampa Premium Outlets. Yeah, not good. So I just put in here, and there's an EV Go, which actually we haven't used that CPO yet. 3.3 miles away. So we'll hit there at a 14% state of charge.
Okay,
1 of 4 is available, and last charged. So let's go. It's
close enough. Let's try it.
3.3 miles away, and the Porsche turbo charging. By the way, this turbo charging, you know what that means? That's like the name of their software and their whole system. Porsche turbo charging. I love that.
Absolutely.
Right? So for all of you that tell me, Dave, you don't leave yourself any leeway, I got 16% state of charge and I'm going 3.3 miles away. Mm-hmm. It's possible that may be down too, and then we'll look for something else, right? Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, you find a level 2 that gives you a little extra juice.
Just to get to
I mean, hopefully we won't have to play that game. Worst case, I could just stay here, could come back here and wait.
I could shop. It is an outlet.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Just wasn't in our plan for today.
Yeah. So it feels like old times. Back to the old times here. Yeah. And one thing I would say is that in general, these malls, these outlet malls, not a good place for DC fast charging. The Wawas, the ins and the outs, those are quick, right? Because this gives people a long time to go shop.
Yeah.
Or go have, and oftentimes we've seen cars, I remember in Indiana, coming home and from Denver, and there was one stop that was at a mall, and the guy in the Bolt he had finished charging.
Oh, I
right?
remember that.
And he had finished charging by the college, by the university, and the car was already on the hook for an hour after it had charged. Well, he was in the mall, for sure. So, it will almost be like people that maybe are at the Hampton Inn where we stayed last night in McClenny and leaving their car on the DC fast charger while they're sleeping, right? So, DC fast chargers at hotels, don't necessarily believe in those so much.
Here. Okay, half a mile.
I'm just going straight
Road.
Here. There's one charging stop in Orlando, I remember, at an Electrify America, that's crazy. That actually there was a huge line there, and I remember filming there, and Hertz was taking all their cars over there to charge them. They had like 6 or 7 cars, and they were just waiting in line. Meanwhile, people that are on road trips are having to wait behind these Hertz guys.
Absolutely.
And if anything, I already yelled at Hertz about that. Get yourself your own infrastructure and pay for your own infrastructure, right? And so one good thing is I did see that Tampa just opened up a brand new EA. I think it's a little closer down towards the city proper, because Tampa's big. We're up in the northern part of Tampa right now. So I think there's going to be options, and I wouldn't mind checking out that new EA. But
first we have to get to
let's go to EV Go, because that's a new CPO that we haven't tried yet. So
fingers crossed.
I think we'll do that. All right, so Kathy, we actually used the Porsche app and authenticated with the Porsche app. This is an EV Go fast charging from GM Energy.
So this has the handshake.
Charger failed.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I have to plug in that. I have to authorize payment.
Well, that's doing it a different way. So let's try and do it with the credit card. So why don't we unplug? Hit your little button thing. Okay. and you can put it in the holster. So let's try to, here's my wallet. Throw, yeah, use that card. So it says first plug-in connector. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So let's see what it says. Plug in the connector. Okay.
Oh, I have this thing.
Okay. Now.
EVgo app.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is just do this thing. Auto charge your session. Dispenser protection alarm. Please unplug charger gun. What does that mean? I don't know.
Is this one broken?
Unplug it again. Let's see. Okay. It says A is available. 1, plug-in connector. 2, authorized payment. And 3, charge up and go. Now we've thrown in the whole idea of the Porsche app. Well, hold on one second. Let me try the Porsche app one more time. Okay. All right. So we just moved over from the other unit to this one. These are interesting units. They're Delta charging units, and you can actually charge 2 cars. Unlike in Electrify America, you can actually do dual charging. So I'm going to try to use the app again. Basically, the way you do it, I don't know if you can see this, but you just click on that little button. You see the 350 there, and you can.
The sun is in the way.
That's okay. Just keep it on there for a second. And so we're going to go to this station right here. We're going to see here. Now this is. Let me just look at this. It's 1 and 2 are open. Now, does this say what unit it is? It doesn't really say, but I have a feeling it's 1. So we're going to start charging. Let me plug it in.
All right, we're getting the same screen, although...
It said authentication error here. Hold on one second. Server could not be reached. Please try again later. Okay, so the Porsche app, it said there was a server authentication error. Try again later. Okay. How about we'll do the credit card thing.
Yeah, the good news is we know it works.
We know this works.
The guy just
the guy was in the Mercedes. And so what it says first is to plug in the connector. Well, so let's do that. Okay. Okay. The second is the EVgo app.
Maybe we have to get the app.
I have it. All right, so I've used the app again. It's matching the voltage now. We got up to, now we've got going. Okay, so we're at a 14% state of charge, and let's see what happens. Hopefully this does not fail. We saw another gentleman here earlier where he was able to connect up and get juiced. It says it's processing. Let's go sit inside the car. It's 96 degrees outside right now. So let's see what we're getting here. Hopefully we don't have an authentication failure.
Weird.
I'm not sure. Oh boy, it's hot out there. 92 degrees, but it feels warmer when you're on the pavement. Okay, so
It's not right.
we just hit a peak of 268 here at the EVgo, and the issue was pilot error on our side, my side. Kathy, she said, "Is your credit card active?" And I said yes, and it wasn't.
And
So I
here's your credit card
apologize.
back.
Okay, and so
Well,
that.
you know what? In all fairness, it should come up on the screen that says invalid credit card. We kept thinking it was the station.
It just said failed. It didn't say the payment. 270. That's the max this car is publicly saying that it should get. So we are at a 26% state of charge, 270 kilowatts. That is the best charging session.
Yeah, and also the most frustrating.
Well, definitely the most frustrating.
But not EVgo's fault.
But you know, the other thing is what did not work was the authentication from within the Porsche app.
True.
And there we do have the payment. That's where I was like, yeah, the payment's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we threw in the towel on using the Porsche app to authenticate the EVgo, this is the GM what do they call it? The GM energy system. As soon as I threw in the towel, I just like, yeah, of course but I had to have the proper credit card at EVgo on that app.
Right.
So,
and I do want to say for you, you do not give up. You were trying, plugging, and then I finally said, there's a phone number you could call.
yeah. And by the way, the guy was super helpful. He was
he was great.
Yeah, he was like, you have a problem here with your
payment method.
Yeah, with your payment method. He knew right away.
Yeah.
So yeah, still at 31%, 259.
Yeah, we're ramping up good.
This is a great charging
Right,
section.
we're going to go up really high this time because
Well, we're going to look
we took a long time to get to.
No, I understand, but we don't necessarily need to overcharge. Let's go ahead and look at what our next moves are.
Okay.
And maybe because we've dabbled now with 5 different CPOs on the way home, we just hit an EA that has, well, we just tried to hit an EA. This is where you have to be flexible. 2 out of 6 EAs up. That's in Tampa. That's just crazy.
I know.
And everybody said they tried calling and they said, "Oh, we're trying to fix them. We're trying to fix."
All those people
Yeah,
said
every
that?
one of them said they called in, and so I don't really know. There
Did
goes.
this guy ever get going?
I don't think he did. I don't think he got juiced to Polestar 2.
He was there for a long time.
There's another
too.
Polestar 2. Okay, so this is fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay now. We're
And
good.
let's do our homework and figure out where we're going to go to next. We've only got one more charging stop
Sure.
left, and then I can hit the beach. It's just going to be dark. It's all right. It's all my fault. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. This, Kathy, is an amazing charging session. At 49%, we're 214 kilowatts, 50%. This is why this car is desirable for road tripping. When you find the right charger and you put the right credit card in, it's good. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this session, without a doubt.
Yeah, good.
We'll figure out why the Porsche app didn't work later, another day. But for now, this was good. Boy, it is warm out there. All right, so let's go ahead and put in Marco Island. Let's go here. We're going to figure out our next charging stop. This charging session continues to amaze me. 60%, basically 185, 186 kilowatts. I mean, at 60% in a Model Y or my Model 3, it might be 80 kilowatts, 85. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but at 50%, you're at 104. And at 60%, you're definitely less than 100. This thing it's like double, it's twice as fast charging than a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. I love that. If that's important to you, for road tripping, which it is to us, boy, oh boy, there's a reason to go check out a Macan EV. Guide me to the University of Tampa.
We'll see Katie.
The University of Tampa in Tampa. Would you like to start route guidance?
Yes, I would. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to hit 1.
Okay, starting route guidance.
All right. So, do I go straight here?
Half hour away.
I think I'm going to go up this way.
Okay.
You need any fireworks?
We've had plenty of fireworks in the car.
Okay. That whole tent, it was all fireworks there. All right. So, we're going to be going... All right, so let's talk about this EVgo situation, because I don't know that I can fault EVgo here. As a matter of fact, I can't fault EVgo. EVgo does have a system, Lucid Air.
Okay, I think I feel confused because you're not following the directions.
Yeah, I am.
You're not.
I'm not?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let's go this way.
Now we're going through a neighborhood. How nice. I think you're delirious. I'm not even angry with you because I just think your brain is so fried.
You know,
from
you never
3
know who you might meet up here or see, or you never know. So,
Well, now it's telling you, wait a minute, there might be a way out. let's follow this. You
Okay.
go through this neighborhood.
See, I'm going.
Now you're making another wrong turn.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Why don't you just go where the wind blows you, Dave?
No, I'm going to cut across this way.
Okay. What was just telling you could go through the neighborhood and then out.
I see.
But it's fine. Just do you, Dave. You do you.
Do you,
You
Dave?
do you.
How does that work? so, all right.
All right, it's fine. Go straight.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I'm
you know
doing
not.
me.
You do
I'm
you.
doing me.
Go slow and not hit these nice people in front of
How
us.
do you know they're nice?
Because I can tell.
You can?
Yeah, they're dressed nice, like they're out shopping today.
Are they dressed nice or dressed nicely?
They're dressed nicely.
Nicely. Okay. So, all right. EVgo can't fault them. However,
Right.
because I had an old credit card.
Except for the fact there should be something on the screen that comes up that says issue with payment
Yeah,
method.
payment processing.
Because then we
declined.
wouldn't have just assumed it's a problem with
Right.
the charger.
All of it, you know what it was doing,
Yeah, you gotta go.
which was incredible, was the way the handshake was working. Was it was actually connecting through all three steps, wasting my time
And to
your
mine.
time, and then as soon as it started giving a little bit of juice, it
Cut.
failed. However, if it had first checked to see if the payment processing worked, it would have said, "Hey, your credit card expired last month," which it did. Put another credit card going right here.
I think so.
Yeah, going
Right.
right here. Oh, let's put it in the mode where it's. Uh-oh.
I don't know where it went.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. This
Just do the voice
Yeah, I
command
will.
again. Guide me to you, Tampa.
I will. Okay. Guide me to University of Tampa.
Let me see what I can find along the route.
Jeez.
West University Charter High School.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. You know what? It's still guiding us.
Okay.
Okay. That's.
You're on the right path.
I'm
now.
on the right path. So the order with which it is actually checking the credit card wastes my time. Now, if they just flip that around and they say, "Hey, listen, your credit card expired," then I could actually have the.
Well, that would have
intuitive-
saved us 20
Yeah,
minutes
absolutely.
at least. Yeah.
So we moved different stalls and all
That's
that.
right.
The other thing is that EVgo does have something called auto charge. Kyle, Rob Laterra, myself, and I believe, can't remember who it was. We were trying to test out the auto charge in Miami, and we ended up being late. There was a party at the condo. Remember that night?
Mm-hmm.
And you got mad at me. There's
What was the little bug?
an ID
The
buzz.
little
ID
buzz.
in yellow. Very cute.
Very
So-
Florida.
Yeah, very Florida. Another camping world up there. You can see the flag.
Mm-hmm.
So the charging auto charge does work. So you could get an account with EVgo, and just like with Electrify America, you could just plug in and it'll charge.
But you didn't do it that way.
I don't have auto charge set up
Okay.
for this car.
Ah.
I had it set up, I believe, for our
Maybe
Porsche.
Or the
Macan.
Ionic. Oh, when you were, yeah. Or maybe the Ionic 5.
I don't remember oh, maybe it was the Ionic 5. I don't remember. But I'm not sure if auto charge is something that has to be done in combination with EVgo and the car, or if it's just your account with EVgo. So that's something we can find out for another day. But the thing is, what did not work is that Porsche has a business arrangement with EVgo for us to authenticate the charging from the Porsche app, and that didn't work. And that has a valid
75 South.
that has a valid credit card
Keep
associated
left.
with it. Okay, so I need to move over here.
Right.
You know what I mean, Kathy? Like it should have worked on the Porsche app, and that failed. We only tried it once. We probably should have tried it again, but it didn't work. And that's when I threw in the towel and I said, let's either do the credit card or the.
Right.
All right, enough said. EVgo, best charging station.
Really was. I mean, thank goodness.
We saw 265. No, we saw over 270. We saw 270. We saw 270. That's right. And at 65%, we were pulling. Let me look at this. I sent Kyle a text. I
You
was
did?
so impressed with. Yeah, let me just see. At 70%, we were pulling 146.4 kilowatts.
It's amazing.
That's fast. That's really good. That's double. That's double the speed of a Model 3, Model Y. So anyway, we picked up another CPO along the route. So we are not exclusive EA people.
I think, does that make five now that we've done?
5 different charging.
Right. Oh, and what did that session cost?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I'll put it in the video. I'll get all the expenses and afterwards with the data. Right now, I'm more concerned about getting juice than how much it costs. But
No,
I think, you know what it was? I did ask the guy on the phone. It's 59 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah, I mean, I just wondered what the total cost
So
was.
not cheap. It's the same as the Rivian Adventure Network.
Okay.
And similar to peak periods. You can buy down the rate. There's memberships. Each one of these CPOs has different, break points. If you charge a lot there, you can get a buy the rate down to maybe 42 cents or 44 cents. I don't know exactly what. But so look, the rest of the day, we are going to go see Katie.
Very quickly, she's
what is she doing at the?
She is a wedding planner, an event planner, and she has a big wedding today that is taking place at the University of Tampa.
Which is where she graduated.
Where she went to school, right. So we know that well. We'll pop in really quick, I think, just a hug, because she is really in the thick of setting up now.
Yeah.
So we'll just say a quick hi while you're in the neighborhood. Maybe you'll get a little Happy Father's Day hug from her.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and then we're only about a little less than 3 hours to Marco from there. Making progress.
Yeah. All right. Let me put the.
In half a mile exit at exit 274, and then follow Interstate 275 south towards airport.
All right. So you know what? We did two things. We put the navigation voice into more detailed.
Yes.
Right.
Found that menu.
And so while it would be nice to see this blue up here in the Google is telling you what your next move is, but what would be nice is if it told you the next move after that and after that.
Now
but
exit.
This is not as bad as maybe we were racking it out for with Waze.
I still like Waze
because
better.
it's an audible thing. But I would rather see
15 miles.
like Waze shows you the lanes. There's 3 lanes, and get in this lane. You know what I mean? Like it shows you where to be.
Yeah.
This isn't showing us that.
No. I mean, if this is all you have, it's fine, but I still prefer Waze.
Yeah, and we can still run Waze over here. You just can't run the navigation of Waze at the same time, because if you do that, let's just say we go over here and say navigate to University of Tampa.
Didn't we just do that?
I'm doing it in Waze now to show you what happens. Go now, right? So now we're navigating here. And you see how this tells you all this information?
15 miles away, it tells me what I'm looking for, and what exit I'm looking for, and I appreciate that, because I sort of don't have to keep looking down. I say, all right.
That is better. But the point that I was making earlier, or that we were making earlier, is if you go back here, now the navigation route guiding is off in your car and the Google Maps. You can't run both at the same time, but you can run Waze. Now, we can just use Waze now.
Yeah, now we need, because we're not charging.
Because we're not charging, we don't need the navigation to be talking to the battery for preconditioning. So let's just keep it in Waze, because this is better.
Yeah, okay.
It definitely is.
I agree.
All right, thank you for...
That was something.
I am a little embarrassed to say that my credit card, you were right.
Well...
Again, how many times this trip?
This trip? How about our whole marriage?
Oh, man. It's true.
It is true.
It is true.
All right, good to be back in downtown Tampa. Don't let me make a wrong turn
No,
here.
you're looking for West Kennedy.
Okay.
I think it's not this one.
They no longer call that the Sykes Tower.
They don't?
South State.
Oh, wow.
It's rebranded. All right.
It's 0.1 miles.
This Riverwalk.
Right.
Riverwalk's beautiful, isn't it?
Okay, so the next line.
Okay.
Riverwalk is beautiful.
Yeah.
Balmy 94 degrees down here today.
Yeah. Oh boy. Henry B. Plant.
Henry Plant's mansion once upon a time.
That's crazy. Yeah. Beautiful campus. All right. University of Tampa.
Okay.
Here we are.
We'll call her and we'll just meet her outside.
All
Oh,
set.
man, this is
Let's go.
really beautiful. I've forgotten how gorgeous this is.
All right, let me call
At
her.
the roundabout, make a U-turn.
Okay, you can call him.
See if we can park up there.
Yeah. All right. I remember there's a parking spot over here.
Come down. Wait, she just told me where to come.
That's just for admissions.
She said, come down to the further end of Plant Hall, not the front. Like when we're looking at it with your back to the water. Okay, so all the
Okay.
way to the left.
All right.
Okay.
Billy, you want to go to college? You want to be like your sister? Yeah.
Let's go this way. Let's go. Let's go. University of Tampa. Beautiful. Just gorgeous. What a beautiful building. What a beautiful campus. Bailey's going to apply. They got admissions. Bailey, up this way. Admissions is this way. Come on, girl. Let's go. What's your GPA? Bailey. Let's go. Let's go, girl. Don't be afraid. All right. All right, Bailey, let's go over here. There's the river. You want to go down by the river? Let's check it out. Well, there's Katie's Jeep. She's actually working an event here today, Bailey. Yeah, that's the Jeep. And look at the family of ducks. Bailey's chasing the squirrels. She's chasing the squirrels. Wow, what a beautiful park. Hey, let's go this way. Come on, girl. Let's go. Let's go. Over this way. Nice fountain here. And then there's a beautiful river over there, and there's a river walk on the other side. But that's downtown Tampa right over there. And then you got the University of Tampa right over here, right behind you. And it goes all the way back. It's a beautiful campus. Really nice school. That was great seeing Katie.
Oh, it was the best.
And good luck on her wedding tonight. That's pretty cool that she's hosting a wedding or planning
Well,
the
planned
wedding.
the wedding. And
Planning the wedding at her alma mater.
I know, and it's set up very beautifully. She brought us in and we could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah, the room was beautiful where the wedding is taking
it's a beautiful old mansion.
place. Yeah, that's gorgeous. All right, so quick trip summary. Let's see how far into the trip we've gone. We're now 1,237 miles into the trip. We've only been driving for 20 hours, so it's all of your shenanigans off campus.
It's all of my talking and let's look at this and let's look at that. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's always me.
The
It's always
reptiles. That was
me.
cool.
You spent like 45 minutes with the reptiles.
I did not. No,
Yeah, you did.
they were so cute. They're pretty. It's crazy.
Anyway, trip update.
3.36 miles per kilowatt hour. Average speed 61 miles per hour. So it was 64 last time we checked in. But we are going to be stopping off in Bonita Springs on the way home. And what we're going to do is we don't want to bury ourselves in Marco Island
With no charge.
With no charge.
Right.
So we're going to arrive with no less than 15% state of charge. So Cape Coral, just south of Cape Coral, Electrify America Bonita Springs. We're going to arrive at a 13% state of charge, right? Which is just a little north of 10%. So that's kind of perfect. And then we will charge here. There's 3 of 6 EA 350. So let's hope
that they're all working.
that they're all working. It says here, last charge 12 minutes ago. So we could go over to plug share. That's one technique that we probably should have done.
Well, we can still change our minds if it
Yeah,
works
we
out
could look
better.
at we could look at the plug share app and see
Because we're
how
trying
many
to do
are
all of this
this.
on navigation.
Yeah, this doesn't really tell you. The Porsche app doesn't tell you how many are down or
Right.
that, whereas plug share does.
Right. So I think we're going to look there.
And it's got a social media element to it that people report, you know, if 2 of 4 are down or whatever. You know how that all works. So it's good you got to kind of use the plug share app
Okay.
with that as well. Now, we will charge just enough so that when we arrive at the condo, we'll have 15%.
Okay.
All right, and that'll be it. So this has been quite a good trip, I would say. Car's super comfortable. I got to put my massaging seat
Oh,
on.
me too. It's unlike me not
Sometimes
to
I
have
forget.
them on.
I'm going to go for the stretch.
Oh, I just did the stretch. I think I'll move back down to the wave.
I'm going to do the same thing.
No, come on. Such a copycat.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
So, yeah, next stop, Bonita Springs. Charge one
All
last
right, one
charging
last-
session. Macan.
It's doing
What's
great.
this car's name, by the way?
I forgot. Did I name him?
You forgot?
Did I name her?
You don't know if you named your car or not?
I'm a terrible mother.
You just, what do you refer to it as? The Macan?
The Porsche.
The Porsche?
Oh, no, that's what it was. It was Mama Con.
Mama Con.
It was the Mama Con.
All right.
All right, now I'll never forget. That's what happens when you've had a car 6 or 7 months and you don't talk to it every day. The Mama Con. That's what
drive it
was.
every day.
I know, but I just always say I'm taking my car, right? My car.
Oh, man.
Mine. Okay.
All right, Kathy, this is a ceremonious charging session here. Where are we?
We are in Bonita Springs, which
Okay.
is heading very close now down to our condo.
Right.
Be our last charge before we get down there. We found these brand new EA stations.
Yeah.
So, and nobody's here. This is the way I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can do it. So I don't have to do anything, right? I just have to do this. I think I'm getting better at this. I don't feel like
I think you are too.
I don't know. Maybe I.
You want to do the leg
technique?
technique?
No, I don't want to do that. But I think I'm getting more powerful and it's plugging in. I don't think that
Finesse.
plugged in.
Finesse.
Wait a minute. Now this thing popped. It's always me. Wait a minute. I feel delirious.
Here, let me help you here.
No, I
here,
have to learn
just
how
go
to
ahead.
do it by myself.
You have less stress then.
There we go. Click.
All right, good.
Okay.
What state of charge are we at?
Was it like 15%? Do you remember?
No, I don't know. Let's see. 14%?
Where do you
Okay.
see that?
On the center screen.
Oh, there. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay. It's doing the
it's
handshake.
initializing.
Yeah.
Whoa, did you hear that?
Oh.
That was loud. Welcome, driver. Tycon inclusive plan. I'm hearing all kinds of things
Yeah.
going on over there.
It's like a percussion section
Yeah.
over here.
I've never heard noises like that before from these boxes. Wow, there's a lot of clicking. That is strange. Is it working?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, you're getting juice.
Oh, you see it there?
Yeah, in the car.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, there's my green beam.
Okay, let's see what we got here. 159, 67, 74. It's juicing up. And we were preconditioning, and you're going all the way to 252, 258, 261. Good charging session. Good charging session. The battery's a little warm at 100 degrees, just over the line.
Well, you know what? It's 80 something out, and almost all day was about 95.
No, but the car has the ability to cool it.
I know,
And,
but
and,
it probably
and
had
we
to
were
work.
preconditioning.
Yeah.
But this is excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. We will definitely take this. Good job plug it in there.
Good.
I'm going to show you the leg technique, okay, right now. I'm just going to demonstrate it on another charger, okay? Okay, so this is a technique that I've developed over many years of difficult charging sessions when you're trying to film it with one hand and plug in with another, especially in the cold weather when these cables get really, they get very,
Oh, they're going to get worse.
they get worse, all right?
Okay.
So this is what you do. You take the cable,
Yeah.
okay? And then you're trying to plug it in here, like one hand, because you're filming with the other. So what you do is you take your leg and you put it over here. And then what you do is, do you see this?
Yes.
This is the motion from left to right.
Okay.
And then it lines it up and you put it right in. And I'm telling you, it works. It's great. It's the leg technique, because if you don't do it, now the question, it's like hard.
Well, that's
so
what I'm
this is
struggling
it
with,
right
but-
here. Leg technique.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's patented.
The Dave Connor move. It's just one of your many moves.
I want to hear somebody tell me that that is not a good technique, because that works.
Okie dokie.
Bailey, come here. You want water? Come down low. Come down real low and get tight neck against her.
Good girl.
Not flat. Here, like this. Okay, move here. Good girl.
She likes this water bottle.
Good girl.
Girl, you want some more? You good?
Are you done?
Okay, good baby.
All right, there she is. Congratulations. We are just north of Naples
Yay.
and just finished what I would say was probably the best charging session of the trip. Although we had a lot of very good charging sessions.
This was very seamless, though.
This was great. The EA plug and charge
It's easy.
is great.
Once I learn how to manhandle that big charger, I'm good to go.
You gonna do the leg technique?
I don't think so.
All right,
but
well.
I do appreciate you showing it to me.
Yeah, I hope some of you adopt that technique, because I spent a lot of money to patent it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen,
So-
you got to do what you got to do.
So, yeah, one thing we need to check is, we were talking to Kyle about EV Go, knowing that they've got auto charge.
Right.
But he was explaining that it uses a different protocol in order to speak to the car, from the car to the charger. And he's not sure, we're not sure if auto charge works with the Macan.
Right.
So that's something maybe we're going to have to test.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we wanted to just kind of stress was, we were talking earlier about the Google Maps and not necessarily having the correct display visual. Let me show you what I mean. Over here, the correct visuals for turn-by-turn directions.
Right. This gives you
Right.
more of that overview. It tells you something's
Yeah.
coming up.
And so what we were talking about was, you like to leave this in the direction that you're traveling, right? And then this one over here, you like to leave this one north up, so you can kind of see that you're heading south too.
Right. So I don't get confused which
So
way
you're not
I'm
going back north, right?
Which I don't want to do.
But this is where we got tripped up. And there is a setting here, which is the route overview, where you can have data, 32 minutes, 24 miles. We're going to arrive on Marco Island with a 75% state of charge. And what happened was, we had it on this setting the whole time.
Right. So it
And-
didn't rotate through.
And so what we needed to do was to go up to, wait a minute, right over here to route guidance.
Yes.
And when you go to route guidance, this is where it shows you in the screen, the third circle, or the all the way on the right hand side.
Pod. I think it's called a pod.
A pod, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it shows you the turn-by-turn directions. So we apologize to Google and Porsche, because we were not showing that. But
Right.
that's how we all learn together. I think it's important.
Well, again, it goes back to, there's so many buttons to push, and a lot of the menus go deep. And, I thought I was using exactly what I needed, but this is a great find. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
have figured that one out now.
But Waze still has.
Oh, because also, by the way, I do not have the heads-up display. I opted out of that.
Right.
And so maybe it would automatically come up on the heads-up
That is correct.
display.
That information would be in
Yes.
your. And
so those of you with the Macan with the heads-up display,
yeah, we're jealous.
Now I am.
We're jealous because that information, it would be in the augmented reality display,
Exactly.
and that heads-up display is amazing. We didn't even mention it because I think we're both.
I'd actually forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But then after all of this,
Well, the heads-up display is incredible. So let's say like that little Murano or whatever the heck that thing's Rogue over there, he starts coming over, right? What ends up happening is a little yellow line goes on top of him, and then it actually follows him. And if he comes too close to you, it starts beeping like big in the glass all around here. So it overlays the data with the real world into what's called augmented reality.
And again, Porsche gives you all these wonderful options to choose from. I happen not to get that one, but I'm sure people are loving it.
Yeah.
That have it.
Yeah. If we were to reorder a Macan EV,
Well, you were a little upset that I didn't want to get it.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit of a miss. But overall, let's just go over the whole trip here, so that we can see. Yeah, that would be good. So we go to car, and this is the total trip. So 1,370.9 miles. It's really 13. You know, we went over to see Katie, went a little out of our way into downtown Tampa, but for the most part, it is, you know, realistically, it's a 1,350 mile trip. And 62 miles an hour average, really not a lot of traffic. We did hit some nasty rain.
Oh, very nice, which caused several accidents we saw.
Yeah, there were people today that had flown off the road. You know, you got to slow down when it comes to water on the road with hydroplaning.
Dave, I just want to say thank you. You're an awesome chauffeur. I couldn't have hired anybody better to bring me down to my happy place.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
I mean, the total driving time was 22:12, and you drove what?
I drove about 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours. So yeah.
Yeah, I took one for the team.
I hogged the car. I'm so sorry.
You do love it.
I'm so sorry.
Right? You love this.
By the way, the efficiency. Look at this right here. 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. So, you know, look, this is not a light car. This car,
2 miles exit at exit 101, and then follow County Route 951 towards Naples.
all right, we'll do that. This vehicle actually weighs about 1,000 pounds more than a Tesla Model Y. So, and you can feel it in the substance.
I'm going to get off this screen now. Okay.
Yeah, you can close that off. You can close that one off. There you go.
Okay.
So we're coming up to our exit, and we will see you guys at the condo and finish up this video. Bailey, where is she? She's sleeping?
Sound asleep in her little bed.
Looks like we're running into some more rain up
Of
here.
course we are, so I hope we get there before it rains.
Let's just see. We got to get the
Anyway, could use
Naples
the rain.
sign.
My car is filthy.
Look at that.
There it is.
There it is.
3 days in the car with you. It's a blast.
I still like you. Do you still like me?
I love you.
Here, we got to silence Miss Daisy there, or whatever.
Okay.
You know, if we go straight and not get off
I will
and go
be
across
angry.
Alligator Alley,
I'll be angry.
we could get to Miami Beach by, I don't know,
We can get to Marco
we can get there by
Island Beach
9:30.
in 20 minutes.
Dinner at Rayo's.
Another day.
All right, we're getting off here. Okay, so here we are. We had to stop off at the Naples EA just to see what was going on, because this is notoriously one that's always been
There's always a problem.
always a problem. So there's a Honda Prologue, a VW ID4, and a Chevy Bolt. 3 out of 4 are up.
One is
Charger
down.
number 1 is unavailable, and there's an ID4 that is waiting to charge. So, yeah, 3 out of 4. And you know what the thing is, Kathy? That Bonita Springs, where we just, it's not
that much
It's
further.
not that far up the road.
So I'm happy we stopped there. That's good for me to
I wonder
know.
if that's kind of a new station, because that's a major find, at least for us. Otherwise, we would have gone there. But
Right.
yeah, so Naples is kind of living up to its reputation there,
No,
and
no bueno.
no bueno. So Kathy, as we're approaching the condo, 1,391 miles.
All right.
We did it, girl. High five.
We did it. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Keys in my hand.
All right.
Bailey's ready to go. She knows exactly where she is.
Excellent.
It's been a long 3 days.
Here we are.